This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 24th day of March in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The absence of an active board of the Guyana Lottery Control Commission came up for questioning today as the Public Accounts Committee met at Parliament Buildings. The committee heard that the Lottery Commission has not had a board in place since 2019. Finance Secretary Sir Krishnalal Pasha and Accountant General Jennifer Chapman were grilled on the matter by Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal. He questioned whether the lottery company was operating in breach of the Lottery Act, with no commission being in place. Mr. Mahipal pointed out that under the law, the commission is mandated to not only submit a report containing an account of its transactions to the finance minister, but also during the drawing of the lottery, there must be at least 3 members of the commission present. In the absence of the required members, the drawing is postponed, according to the law.
The Act, the Guyana Lotteries Act, mandates the presence of the committee members to facilitate the working of this lottery fund and the action of how you go and buy a lotto. That's how you gain the money when you're paying it out and all of these things. There's a board, there's a commission that ought to be in place to do these things based on the Act. My question to you, who is doing that right now? Because there has not been a board from 2020 to date. Who is doing it?
While dodging the question on who is usurping the authority and functions of the commission, the Finance Secretary assured the Public Accounts Committee that all records are being kept.
We, at the Ministry of Finance, what we're doing is ensuring that we keep records of transactions and to ensure that the Auditor General could access those records to determine whether the statements that we prepare at the end of the year.
It was also disclosed that funds are also being withdrawn from the Lotto Fund in the absence of the Commission. Those withdrawals were approved by the Cabinet, the Commission heard. The Finance Secretary also explained that in the absence of the Commission, he, along with the Deputy Accountant General Elizabeth Prasad, have been preparing the annual reports for submission to the Office of the Auditor General. All of the reports for the periods 2020 through 2023 have been completed and submitted to the Auditor General. The 2024 report is currently being compiled, he said.
Yeah, so that the statements are now being signed by myself and the DHE. And I'm happy to report that we've been able to clear all the backlog that we had. So our financial statements are audited up to 2023.
MP Mahipal, while acknowledging the efforts of the Finance Secretary, highlighted that there remains a clear breach of the law governing the Lottery Commission. When the accounts for 2019 were examined, the Public Accounts Committee heard that the lottery fund generated $745 million back in 2019 under the previous government. And during that year, $50 million was expended as sponsorship for the Buju Banton show, $88 million was spent on the national flag raising ceremony, and $49 million was spent on Guyana's participation at Carif Festa, in addition to other spendings. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Citizens, please be reminded that the Ministry of Housing and Water does not sell land or housing units through any third-party arrangements or accept payments through any mobile money platforms. All our allocations are done at our Brickdam Georgetown Main office, any of our regional offices, or at any scheduled Dream Realized event. A message from the Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Vice President Jagdeo, has strongly urged supporters and activists of his party to continue to go underground in communities across the country and spread the message of the party, warning that the opposition can surprise them at the next elections if they do not put in the work. While expressing confidence that his party will overwhelmingly win the next elections, Mr. Jagdeo said nothing should be taken for granted.
Often it seems that we are fighting against an invisible enemy. You don't see the opposition as prevalent as they were before. But do not be deluded. If you grow arrogant and if you don't put in the hard work, we can have surprises. They are invisible. They're not doing much, but quietly they continue to spread the racist messages that they have grown accustomed to using in campaigning.
The Vice President said this year's elections will be crucial as he urged supporters to ensure they bring more people on board to rally behind the PPP.
Elections are not won by single speeches. They're won by hard work. And hard work back in the communities from which you've come. Every community in Guyana. And that's why I'm relying on every single one of you to leave with the message that you've heard here, the message that you have lived in the past 4.5 years, what you have seen around you, the commitment to fulfilling the promises that we made in 2020. And we expect you to not only take that message to your neighbors and your communities, but work every single day from now until the elections are called.
He also alleged that the opposition is engaged in whisper campaigns in communities to keep Afro-Guyanese away from his party, though he boasted that his party has seen an increase in Afro-Guyanese joining its ranks.
So we have to be cautious about this. We have to ensure that this quiet campaigning doesn't work by exposing them to what they're doing. They call Afro-Guyanese the vilest names.
Mr. Jagdeo said the campaign against the PPP is not only run by political parties, but also by some civil society organizations that he believes continue to discredit the work of the PPP. The tolls to cross the Marara Harbor Bridge, the Berbice River Bridge, and the Mackenzie-Wisman Bridge at Linden will all be abolished from the 1st of August this year. President Irfan made the announcement on Sunday as he gathered with supporters and activists of the party in Berbice at Babu John to celebrate the life and work of Dr. Chedi Jagan, the founder of the party.
As we celebrate the remarkable legacy of Dr. Jagan, that with effect from August the 1st, the crossing at Demerara, Berbice and Wisma is free of cost.
The announcement by the president is in keeping with the commitment that he made last year. The move is intended to increase the disposable income of Guyanese as they continue to confront an increase in the cost of living, including rising food prices. The president said in the pipeline there are other projects and initiatives that are intended to improve the lives of citizens.
I'm leaving Region 5, crossing the Barbies River on a new 4-lane high bridge, just like the Damrara Bridge. I'm entering New Amsterdam, not only the synthetic track, but a new hospital, a new medical school, and then driving off on a new 4-lane road all the way to Mollison Creek.
Reflecting on the work of the late Dr. Chetty Jagan, President Ali said Dr. Jagan remains a source of inspiration for the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic, explaining that in keeping with its philosophy of advancing the development of people, the government has been rolling out a number of projects and initiatives to do just that, in memory of Dr. Jagan.
For Chetty, development was about people. It was about ensuring that every child had a future, that every farmer had land to till, and every worker had dignity in labor. And that, comrades, is exactly what we are doing today.
And citing the East Berbice quarantine region as an example, President Ali said his administration has spent more than $219 billion in the agriculture sector to support key industries, with Region 6 alone benefiting from more than $20 billion annually. The ailing sugar industry and the rice industry were among industries that continue to benefit from significant government input.
Our investment in healthcare is almost 9 times more than that of the APNUAFC government in their 5 years. The regional hospitals, let us look at one example right in Port Moran. The National Ophthalmology Hospital. This hospital that came into existence long before oil by our General Secretary when he was president, providing service for patients in Guyana, Suriname, and the rest of the Caribbean. When we came into government, when we left government, the APNU-AFC government shut that hospital down, denying people for 5 years of important surgeries, cataract surgeries.
The president said his party, the PPP, can defend all of its policies and decisions. The administration of the Critchlow Labour College is expected to meet with President Finale as it considers its next move, after a fire of unknown origin gutted sections of the building last Saturday. Standing on the outskirts of the charred remains of the building, which was erected back in 1967, the General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Lincoln Lewis, said once the dust is settled, a meeting with the president is expected.
The president spoke with both the principal and myself on Saturday, and he said to us, as soon as we get things under control, he'll be desirous of meeting with us.
He said the administration of the Critchlow Labour College is currently weighing its options and considering next steps.
We have to rebuild. We have to rebuild this complex. And we have to, this belongs to the workers. And we have to look for support all the way around. We have started this morning talking with the people, the technical people, to advise us as the way forward in the reconstruction process. We are going to be engaging with past students of the college and friends of the college. Let me say to you, when this college was constructed, you had corporate Guyana contributed significantly.
Lewis said the college will once again look to corporate Guyana for assistance as it rebuilds. The Critchlow Labour College provides education and training for Guyanese at a tertiary level. Lewis, a veteran trade unionist, said the building has a history that is grounded in the struggles of the workers of the country. It was explained that the college was established with the primary objective of educating the working class to better position themselves in the workplace.
While we were doing a number of training programs to build capacity of people, there was one program where they recognized where the UG had started. There was one program, there are a number of workers who may have dropped out, not merely dropped out from school, but may not have finished what we call secondary education. So a program was put in place, the Industrial and Social Studies program. It was 9 subjects together with a long paper of 5,000, minimum of 5,000 words for you to graduate, right? We have had, supplementing that, there were a number of programs over times like project planning, project management, human resource development, and we even run CXC.
The college building was uninsured and received no subvention from the government, with the last subvention received being 2021. As such, it depends heavily on programs offered. Meanwhile, the Guyana Fire Service has indicated that it is still conducting its investigations.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Ready to up your game? Ready to up your game? Win big with over 60 epic prizes. A brand new PS5, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 16 Pro Max, Apple smartwatch, and the hottest earbuds from Apple and Samsung. Plus, we are giving away thousands in phone credit and a whole year supply of Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Here's how. Buy any Buster or Turbo Energy drink, find the code starting with BB and enter online or on WhatsApp. Visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Turbo_Caribbean or Buster Guyana for all the details. Don't just play. Up your game with Buster and Turbo Energy.
A family's wedding plans have been dashed and they now find themselves planning the funeral of their 27-year-old son, who died tragically on Sunday morning in an accident on Sheriff Street, 3 weeks before his wedding. The accident victim, Akil Johnson, was also an attorney at law who joined the local bar just last year. A police report of the accident stated that Johnson was riding his motorcycle at around 3:11 on Sunday morning at a fast rate along Sheriff Street when he crashed into a motor car at the corners of Sheriff and Dananawa Streets here in Georgetown. The car was being driven by 34-year-old Viola Mittelhauser. The police said its early investigations revealed that the car was proceeding north along the eastern drive lane of Sheriff Street, and upon the approach to the intersection of Sheriff and Dananawa Streets, the car adopted a turning lane to turn east onto Dananawa. However, in that process, the motorcycle, which was proceeding south along Sheriff Street at a fast rate alongside another motorcycle, ended up in the path of the car. The police said the motorcyclist collided head-on with the car. At the time of the accident, the motorcyclist Akil Johnson was not wearing a safety helmet. He was flung onto the roadway and sustained multiple injuries about his body. He was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. The driver of the car was taken into custody, and the police said a breathalyzer test revealed that she was above the legal limit for alcohol in her system while driving. She has since been served with a notice of intended prosecution as the investigations continue. The Working People's Alliance today expressed its concern over the silence of the Guyana Elections Commission as the country is preparing for general and regional elections this year. At a press conference this morning, the co-leader of the WPA, Dr. David Hines, said even the recent public chiding of the GCOM legal counsel by the chief election officer over a matter before the court is concerning.
WPA finds the CEO's public chiding of the legal advisor a reflection of the confusion and apparent partisan mindset of GCOM Secretariat. Not for the first time, the legal advisor's stance on the law flies in the face of this partisan mindset.
The party has restated its view that everything possible should be done to ensure that the elections are conducted in a manner that is acceptable to the political parties and stakeholders. Hines said because of the crucial nature of the upcoming elections, the buck stops at the Elections Commission to get it right. He said in a highly divided society, where the electorate is also divided, the constant scrutiny of GCOM's impartiality does not augur well for the upcoming elections.
If the instances of voter impersonation and other documented irregularities uncovered by the recount of the ballots in the wake of the 2020 elections are taken into consideration, then the opposition has reasons to fear the status quo. The PPP and its acolytes have yet to make the case that implementation of biometrics would give the opposition an unfair advantage. They have also not rebutted the opposition's case that the use of biometrics would decrease instances of voter impersonation.
According to Dr. Hines, the Elections Commission, by its own actions and silence, is increasingly making it easier for the opposition to believe that it is entangled with the government. He reasoned that in a high-stakes election, GCOM must ensure that the elections and the conduct of its officials are all acceptable. The 16th Biennial Georgetown Department of Education's Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics Fair opened today at the St. Joseph's High School. Under the theme Innovative Solutions Through STEAM for Sustainable Development in Guyana, the fair attracts schools from nursery right up to secondary, with a total of 63 projects on display. The students are competing in 5 areas. Assistant Chief Education Officer with responsibility for secondary education, Sherwin Blackman, said the fair provides students with the opportunity to come up with innovative solutions to aid in the development of the country.
Many times we have projects, and we've seen this over the years where students manage to create projects that actually comes with a high level of sustainability. We've seen projects over the years in mathematics that schools have actually used to help them to teach mathematics differently. And this year, actually, I've seen some of the pieces coming from some of the other regions that have completed or concluded their activities. For example, Region 5, I've seen some pieces from Region 3, where students have demonstrated yet again, even at the primary level, students have demonstrated that they can with their teachers, come up with very creative ways in displaying, correcting, changing, improving some aspect of education or some aspects relating to development of their country.
Queen's College is among the schools participating in the event. Presenting flavors of Queen's, Ashley James and Onella Thomas told News Source that they are promoting nutritious, diet-friendly alternative pasta and noodles.
So here we would have made pasta and noodles from alternative flour. The whole idea is that we want it to be inclusive so that people with, like I say, gluten intolerance, celiac disease, gluten allergies, we want them to be able to consume this kind of pasta. Not only that, we want to give people a healthier alternative to regular white flour pasta.
Meanwhile, Alex Boyce of North Georgetown Secondary demonstrated how rice straw can be used to trap oil in the event of an oil spill.
In a nutshell, we aim to reduce the burning of rice straw because in rice farming, after they harvest the rice straw is left and they tend to burn it to clear the fields faster so they can replant again once more. We aim to reduce that burning because, of course, when you burn, it aims to global warming with pollution. It releases carbon dioxide into the air. And we don't want that now, do we? So we're just trying to reduce the burning of it, and instead of just wasting the rice straw, we're going to use it to see if we can absorb oil in oil spills.
The winners of the regional competition will move on to the national steam competition.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. A teenager was shot and killed in Claxton Bay by a man who went to sell a dog while accompanied by his 10-year-old daughter, according to Trinidad Express. Christian Patterson, 18, of Prince Gardens, Claxton Bay, died on the spot. According to Trinidad Express, on Saturday, the man from El Dorado and his 10-year-old daughter went to Claxton Bay to sell a dog, a toy poodle. Reports are that Patterson announced the robbery and pointed a gun at them. The father, who became fearful for his and his daughter's life, used his licensed firearm to fire several rounds in Patterson's direction. Patterson died on the scene. Police officers were contacted and officers from the Central Division Task Force responded. Crime scene investigators processed the scene, and the district medical officer ordered the body removed from the scene. Investigations continue into Patterson's death. Venezuela has reached an agreement with the United States to resume repatriation flights of migrants, President Nicolas Maduro announced in a televised address on Saturday. The flights were expected to commence on Sunday, according to Reuters. The move comes amid a diplomatic spat between the United States and Venezuela over the recent deportation flights of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. As part of President Donald Trump's rapid U.S. deportation program, hundreds of Venezuelan migrants were sent to prison in El Salvador. Maduro's speech came after Venezuela's parliament president released a statement earlier in the day announcing the deal to resume flights. The families and lawyers have been seeking news about relatives and clients whom they could no longer reach and demanding their return to Venezuela. The United States said the deportees sent to El Salvador were members of a Venezuelan gang, a claim that Venezuela's interior minister denied. The Trump administration now faces a March 25 deadline to respond to a judicial request for more details on the deportations to El Salvador, as a Washington-based U.S. district judge considers whether officials violated his order, temporarily blocking the expulsions. And finally tonight, international news. The Chinese premier has signed an order to implement new rules for strengthening China's countermeasures to foreign sanctions, the Chinese government said on Monday. The rules concern the implementation of China's anti-foreign sanctions law, which was passed in 2021. The law stipulates that individuals or entities involved in making or implementing discriminatory measures against Chinese citizens or entities could be put on an anti-sanctions list by the Chinese government. Those on the list may be denied entry into China or be expelled from China. Their assets within China may be seized or frozen, and they could be restricted from doing business with entities or people within China. The new regulations detail the sectors that foreign individuals and organizations can be restricted from. Those include education, science and technology, legal services, environmental protection, economy and trade, culture, tourism, health, and sports. The regulations also stipulate what steps the Chinese government can take to enforce the countermeasures, such as banning or restricting individuals and organizations from import and export of related goods and technologies. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.